So let's get started on this epic, epic, epic car and bring this thing back to proper running condition. Add a little bit of water, bam, you got soapy suds. Just focusing on the front of this car basically, because that's the only thing we're doing right now is pulling the engine. So I'm not really cleaning the back of the car. The back of the car is just going to get dirty again over the course of the next week or so. But since we're pulling the engine and we're looking at the front of the car the whole time, I like to just take the extra time, 10 or 15 minutes, and get the front of the car clean. That way you're looking at a nice clean car while you're working on your project, which is always a nice thing to do. It adds that secondary level of psychological motivation to the whole thing. You know, it's little things like that that kind of make a difference sometimes. And man, this World Rally blue color is beautiful. I don't know what you guys think about it. Let me know maybe in the comments if any of you are watching this. I think the color is fucking awesome for these two-door coupes. I also think that these GC body cars are just kind of the coolest Subaru's ever made. None of the other Subarus ever really hold a candle to the design and look of these first generation Subarus. There's just nothing like them. They're like the quintessential Subaru. Of course, this one doesn't have the big fog lights, but if it did, the big fog lights are also kind of a quintessential Subaru look. So you add those big round fog lights to the first generation Subaru front end with the hood scoop and the vents. Man, that's the epitome of World Rally and Subaru and heritage, Subaru heritage and fucking dominance. Dominance with the best looking cars ever made. And the cool thing about this car is that it's a 1998 World Rally Blue. Manual transmission car. Really rare car for North America. I got a friend of mine who told me it's actually only 700 of these made in this combination. Of course, this car's been swapped with a 2005 WRX engine driveline. But the original car, with the original color that came off the showroom floor for this car, was a naturally aspirated EJ motor with a 5-speed manual transmission in this World Rally blue color. Apparently those are ultra rare for that combination. And maybe, according to my buddy, there's only 700 of them that came to North America in that combo. In the coupe, the two-door, this color. Getting this sucker nice and clean. I'll be honest, I've been looking for a two-door coupe, either with or without that swap, in this World Rally blue color for a long, long time. For probably 7 or 8 years. And I was sure as hell always would have planned on doing the swap if I bought one, so having one already swapped with a good swap. You know, this thing may look rough, but the engine only had, I think, 79,000 miles when the previous owner put the motor in, the WRX turbo motor. Only had 79,000 miles, and then he drove it, he said, for about 15 or 20,000 miles, and he had some paperwork and some other things to back that up. So the thing is, this WRX motor only has probably just at about 100,000 miles on it. The motor, the driveline, the axles, the differential, everything underneath this car is from a 2005. From the brakes and the hubs all the way to the engine. And it all has around 100,000 miles on it only, which is not a lot. Especially if you're going to pull the motor, reseal it, put in new Subaru multi-layer steel head gaskets, Redo all the seals, like the cam seals and the crank seals. Redo all the hoses, they get brittle. All the little vacuum hoses. All the PCV stuff. Probably upgrade all the PCV stuff to some aftermarket air oil separator system made by Parent or IAG or one of the other big dogs out there. I got a Mishimoto air oil separator. It's actually just a baffled catch can with some interesting design to knock out the oil on my Forester XT. I think this car, I might be hitting a little bit more G-forces in it. If I take it to the track, I want to have a little bit better air oil separator on it. Basically, I want to have the best thing on the market. Alright, this thing's looking pretty good. Don't need to go too much on it. I'm also going to lift the hood and clean the engine compartment too. So we'll do that next. Alright, that's good enough. Alright, so let's rinse this stuff off. Alright, we're done. Alright, this sucker's dried. Basically, to clean this engine compartment, I'm just going to spray it down with water and then do the same thing I did with the exterior. I'm going to get a soapy solution. I'm going to soap down everything. Keep soap away from your alternator, your electrical harnesses. Doesn't matter if you get a little water on everything. I mean, basically, this is exposed to the outside elements already. So it's okay for things to get a little bit moist, a little bit. You just don't want to spray directly into a lot of your electrical fittings and electrical connections and your alternator and a couple of other things like that. So hose it down, get it wet. Get that layer of grease and dirt off of everything, and then your engine compartment and all the bolts and nuts you work on will be a lot easier to work with, and be a lot easier and a lot cleaner process pulling it out. Okay, now that this engine bay is clean, it's time to step back and make a plan for how I'm going to pull this motor. But before I do that, I want to let you guys know that pretty much any Subaru motor is going to be very similar in how you're going to pull it out of your car. Now this engine is a turbo motor that's a dual overhead cam. It's got several components that you're not going to have if you have a naturally aspirated non-turbo car, or it'll be different if you have a 6-cylinder car. But to be honest, all Subaru motors are installed in their cars in a very similar way, and a lot of the processes you're going to have to go through to pull any Subaru motor are basically going to all be the same. To illustrate how I go about this process, I'm going to step over to my workshop and I'm going to put a drawing on that whiteboard, and I'm going to walk you guys through what the fundamental steps are using that whiteboard.